Well, let's get on with the details now. Over 10,000 identifiable groups made of security agencies, officers of the Electoral Commission and the media are voting today in a special poll on the proposed creation of 6 new regions. The exercise, which started at 7 a.m. this morning in 47 districts in the Bunuahafo, Western, Northern, Volta regions, will end at 5 p.m. Today's exercise is a first step towards the main referendum on Thursday to decide on the proposed new regions. 107 out of 281 have so far cast their votes on the special voting ongoing at Jasikan district. So far, the process, we understand, has been smooth and peaceful. Ivy Setoji is monitoring the event there, and she joins me on the line now. Hello, Ivy. Ivy.
Good afternoon, Gifty.
Ivy, what more should we know from the ground?
Well, for now, the process is very peaceful, stated by the EC officials there. Residents there who are casting their votes today are hoping that everything turns out good and peaceful. They are saying that since it's constitutional, they are hoping that things go the way they want to, even though some people think it was not necessary for the region to be divided. And some other people also think that it was okay for the region to be divided so that development can come to that part of the region. So they are hoping for the best for today.
Hoping for the best for today. As we speak, has the number of people who have voted gone up?
Not yet. It still stands at the same number, 107 for now. Other people, the EC hopes that other people will come and cast their votes later in the day.
Have you voted yourself, Ivy?
No, really. I am not from that area.
From that area,
from the
right,
south, so
right.
I can't vote.
Very well. So how are they mixing this up with the season of Christmas? I mean, very soon, just a few hours to Christmas Eve, and there's supposed to be voting. And of course, this is a situation, or this is a matter that not everybody necessarily agrees upon. People are split on whether or not this referendum should even happen, or whether or not the region should be splitted. How are they balancing this with the Christmas season?
Well, it's amazing. Those who are so much interested in the division of the region are okay with it. They are going about their normal duties. So some of them went earlier to cast their vote and then went back home to prepare for the Christmas. Those of them who are traveling today also went early enough to cast their vote and then travel to their various places. Those who are not interested but have to vote are also doing that. So everything is just mixed feelings, It's mixed feelings out there.
Right. Have you spoken to any of the people who came to vote, Ivy? And if you did, what did they tell you?
Well, some of the people said that, it is okay for the region to be divided because that part of the region, that's the northern part of the region, have not seen a major development in terms of roads, hospitals, and other things. So they think that with the division of the region, government will also concentrate on that part of the region, just as they do in the southern part. Some also said that with the division of the region, it's going to be like they are dividing the whole region, and it's going to be like a total division that's for the Akan in the northern part and then the Evers in the southern part. So, of course, some people are still not happy about the division, but they will still vote. Whether they are voting yes or no, is yet to be confirmed. So that is what is happening. Some people don't like it, some people want it.
Finally, Ivy, we know that there's been a lot of political conversation around this particular subject, and I've just traveled through the Volta region to Yendi and back, and I've seen, whilst I was traveling through the Volta region, I've seen posters and I've actually seen billboards about this split. How did the politics play out in the region?
Well, interestingly, I was in Jessica. That was Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday before today. I went to Jessica from Tuesday, last Tuesday. And then on Thursday, what I saw, the NDC, some executives of the NDC are busily campaigning on that very day. Early in the morning, around 6:30, they were busily campaigning on this issue that they should vote yes for the regional. You could see posters around. And yes, we also saw small posters. Some other people also saying that they don't agree to that. And we see a lot of posters going around with the welcome to the proposed OT region, you know. So everything is like, okay, let's say it's 50-50, those who are not interested. But right now, DCs, all the DCs, if not all, at least 90% of the district executives are in the proposed OT region right now, or the Northern Volta campaigning. Some of them are campaigning, going around to encourage people to come out in their numbers and to also make sure that the process is smooth. So that is what is going on right now in that area, right from Jessica to the north.
Ivy, thank you very much for that update. Ivy Setoji is our correspondent in the Volta region there. We still have Mauli Yevu Agbe, who has been monitoring events from Dambai. 220 people were told are expected to vote today over there. As of 9 a.m. this morning, 79 persons had casted their ballots. Now, according to the presiding officer, Boniface Chikba, the process is so far smooth and there are enough materials for the exercise.
So how's the process going so far?
Oh, it's going on smoothly.
How many people are you anticipating to vote here?
So on the register we have 220.
Who are to vote in special voting?
Who are to vote in special voting, yes.
So on the 27th, how many people would you be expecting?
On the 27th, on the constituency register, we have 45,000. The special voters register, we have 220 on the register. So we expect 220 to come if they all turn up. So as at now, we have registered 79.
So how many people are you expecting on the D-Day?
On the D-Day, like I said, on the register, the constituency register, we have 45,000. So we expect them to come.
So that's the presiding officer there. Well, Assemblyman for the area is optimistic that the process so far. He's hoping that there will be a greater turnout on December the 27th. John Yao Benyanase is the Assemblyman for the Dambai Central area.
This AM, some of us were here to take our vote, and everything is going on as we expected.
Sorry, tell us your name.
There is no challenge. I think the EC has pasted temporary staffs they will be using on the DD, and most of them are here to check their respective polling stations they will be working at. So everything is on course.
That's the Assemblyman for the area. Let's get to our correspondent, Mauli Yevu Agbe, who is on the grounds for us. Hello, Mauli.
Hello, Gifty.
Has the number increased, those who have voted so far?
Yes, the voting is still ongoing, and at every point in time, you will see a number of people at the polling station line up waiting for their turn to cast their ballots. So voting is continuing, and we hope by 5 p.m. we will know exactly how many people have cast their ballots. In the referendum here.
Do you get the chance to speak to those who are voting?
Yes, a lot of them who have cast their ballot, immediately after putting in their ballot, come out and give a thumbs up, giving a signal of voting yes.
All right.
For the OT region creation.
So they're happy to come out. So they're happy to come out after voting and then share with you how they voted.
Not showing us, but you can see the excitement, for even participating in the exercise. And a lot of them, you will see quite a number of the community leaders and local organizing committees of the OT movement in their yellow T-shirts, signifying a yes vote for the creation of the OT region all around. and urging people on to go and vote for the OT region. There are local organizing committees going around the communities and asking people to go. Those who will be participating in the special voting to go and cast their ballots in readiness for the main poll on December 27th.
I spoke to Ivy earlier, quite shortly, about what's happening where she is. That's in the Jasikan area. And she said that some of the political party representatives there have been campaigning as well. What is the situation where you are?
Yeah, both the NDC and the NPP, the major political parties in the area, have been vigorously campaigning for that. A while ago, there was a press conference by the Krachiura Nana Muna III, and during that press conference, we'll find NDC known figures of the NDC, like former member of Parliament for Krachi East, Wisdom Kisu, with the current member of Parliament, Michael Jato, many others joining hands and also addressing the press and giving the indication that they are all united in ensuring that the OT region is created. And that press conference, the Kachiwa, Nanampra Bestamuna, is the persons who are, or persons we called as part of the anti not.
Mauli, I lost you briefly there. Could you say that briefly again, what you said? Well, it seems to be having a few challenges there with the network. But Mauli Yewagbe essentially telling us how the voting is ongoing there in Krachi, where he's been monitoring the situation for us. So a member of Parliament for Krachi East, Michael Jato, who he was Mauli was speaking about, has cautioned persons he described as intruders who seek to disrupt the referendum, according to him, to stay away from the enclave, because he says that the security of the no campaigners who come around on the day of polling to campaign for no votes, he says, that's the MP, says cannot be guaranteed. Basically, the MP is saying that if they should show up there, their security cannot be guaranteed. Well, we'll figure out from him what he means by that. He's been expressing satisfaction so far at the process.
We expect that on the 27th, those who don't have any business within the enclave will stay in their homes, and then we'll have our peace. Thank you very much, and I wish our brothers all over the country a Merry Christmas and a prosperous OT region.
Well, we'll stay a little longer on this subject, but we'll focus a bit more on December 27 referendum, that particular one. And Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu wants the EC to step up its public education on that program.
As we prepare for the referendum in December, we need to add public education, for the requirements for this referendum imposes an onerous obligation of not just getting a high voter turnout, but a higher percentage voting in support of what the president desires. But Mr. Speaker, the Electoral Commission have not demonstrated in 2018, even their budget about 211 stand uncommitted. And it will mean that the government and the Ministry of Finance will have to provide additional resources to the 740 million which was so approved for the Electoral Commission. We expect them to improve their data center and ensure that they are ready for the District Assembly elections in September and prepare for the 2020 elections. May I express gratitude to the clerk, the men at the table, and the entire staff of the Parliamentary Service. To my colleague members of Parliament, I can only wish you a Fishapa. With this dedication, you've demonstrated today your commitment to public service, with all the sacrifices of having to work on Monday and even midnight on Saturday. Mr. Speaker, once again, I want to thank you and thank the Parliamentary Press Corps for their continuous coverage of Parliament. And I trust that, Mr. Speaker, will give them an opportunity to learn best practice in some of your delegations.
Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu there speaking in Parliament on the exercise that's ongoing. Well, as you've heard from our correspondent, there seems to be a strong push for a yes vote in the proposed OT enclave. As correspondent Fred Kwame Asare reports, youth groups in the area are also campaigning to get inhabitants to come out to vote on Thursday.
The youth took to the streets of Jasekan in a walk dubbed Yellow Walk for OT region. This was to awaken the spirit of patriotism in the older generation and employ them to participate in the referendum. The walk had participants dressed in yellow T-shirts with inscriptions such as "Vote Yes for OT region, Yes for Development," among others. William Ajay is a youth leader in the Jasekan district.
We know that the yellow represents the yes for OT region. So we organized, the youth of Brim and Jasekan district organized this program to educate our mothers and our fathers and all voters that on 27th of December, when they go to the police station, they should just go and tamper the yes vote, and that the yellow color represents OT region, which stands for development.
He also detailed the youth would embark on a get out to vote program on the morning of the day the referendum will be held.
Another thing that the youth are planning to do on the election day or the referendum day is to embark on a program they call Get Out to Vote. So they will be knocking on doors, they will be going house to house, knock on each door to drive out our mothers, our fathers, and every voter in Jasekan district to the police station to go and endorse their big yes for OT region.
The Jasekan district is one of the 8 districts and municipalities earmarked to make up the proposed OT region, together with Sancho Kofi, Akpafu, Lekpe, and Lolobi. Fred Kwame Asare, Joy News, Jasekan.
100% yes vote. 100% yes vote. 100% yes vote.
Fred Kwame Asare filed that report. Well, let's speak to the Director of Communications at the Electoral Commission, Eric Jakpasu. Mr. Jakpasu, thank you very much for your time this afternoon, and let me wish you Merry Christmas in advance. But how is the exercise going from your perspective? Good?
Thank you very much, Gifty. Good afternoon to you, and thanks for the opportunity. Yes, the exercise is going on smoothly. We started a special voting this morning, and as we speak, it is going on smoothly. We've not had any adverse report about anything unusual going on at all the special voting centers in the capital area.
Will these results of the special voting be declared after this particular voting, or are you keeping them until after the entire process?
Yeah, special voting ballots are always kept with the police under tight security. All parties, interested groups, and the Electoral Commission, we have fixed our seal to the boxes, and they are kept at the police station and only counted on the day of the poll itself. That is on the 27th of December. We'll bring them out and count them just like we count any other polling station results.
Right. In the meantime, the minority leader, for example, has been calling for more education. It looks to him as though the education or the publicity hasn't been well done over the period. Are there any plans to tighten this, or do you feel that what you've done already is okay?
I'll disagree that the publicity hasn't been done that much, because when you go to the carved-out area, we have a well thought through and coordinated set of publicity and public education drives, which has been ongoing from the time we started the limited registration of voters in September up to today as we speak.
Mr. Jakpasu, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Right. So are you still going to do something to improve it, or you feel that what you've done is good enough?
No, the public is going on. It's still ongoing, and the series of stakeholder engagements are going on as we speak. Our jingles are airing in the carved-out areas. There are some TV promos and docudrama at the national level. We have our officials on the ground engaging all stakeholders in the carved-out areas, and we even have referendum coordinators who are coordinating and complementing the activities of our public educators, regional directors, district electoral officers, not to mention the flyers and the posters which are all over in the carved out areas. As we add, we'll intensify them until the eve of the election.
Very well. I'll have you take us through the itinerary, but briefly hold on for me. I'd like for you to listen to the Minister for Regional Reorganization and Development, Dan Botwe, who has been speaking with my colleague Evans Mensah ahead of this referendum.
The internal problem or debate we have is what is not the case as you started it. Okay. We actually are not galvanizing people. You know, we have restrained ourselves. That's why there is the internal struggle. Because in this whole process, we are supposed to facilitate. Okay. We don't take sides. Okay. We don't tell anybody to go and vote yes. We don't tell anybody to go and vote no. We are not mobilizing for people to vote yes. It is the duty of those who petitioned. Okay. Yes. So that is there. So you can imagine me going to the field, looking at people who are organizing for, you know, the polls. And I wish I could tell them, oh, why are you not doing it this way? Why are you not going here? Why are you not using this message? But I'm restrained.
That is an impossible task.
That is a difficult one.
Because if they don't turn out, you take the blame. None of those who petition will take the blame.
We are not supposed to take the blame.
But Ghanaians
because
will.
You see, that's what we try to explain. Yeah. Right from last year, in all the interaction we have with the media, we have sensitized the media, the petitioners themselves. We try to explain to Ghanaians. In any opportunity we had, we've explained to Ghanaians.
Ghana, a new region.
Ghana, if you excuse my language, we are not adding any part of Burkina Faso to this whole process. We are not. We are not adding any part of Cote d'Ivoire or Togo. It's still Ghana. And so even if it was, again, excuse my language, an empty shell with only one region or two, we still will have development. Every part, every space of this country within the boundary that makes Ghana have to be developed.
But it's not simple.
So
it's not as simple as that.
No new land is going to be added.
No, but it's not as simple.
And any existing one has to be developed. It has to be, because it's all the Ghana, the other part of Ghana is the Ghana cake.
So my question is, do we have what it takes to deliver this?
Based on the resources we have as a country.
Do we have the resources?
But that's what we are supposed to do as a country. You have to raise resources. That's the essence of being in government and existing as a state. So whatever resources that we have, somebody said that maybe I have 2 children and I have 5 children, what happens? Well, I mean, we raise the resources to take care of all of them.
Yeah, you have 2 children, you're adding 3 more when you know that.
You have, I have 3 children. I have colleagues who have 5 children, 6 children. So why? So they have a burden? No, I don't think that's how they see it. No, they have raised them, so they take care of them. And you raise money to do that. Increasing, so many ideas are coming up, innovations, increasing revenue. So we have in any case, it's the same number of people in the country, the same the population that will be rearranged. But people can argue that why not? We expand the bureaucracy. How else are we going to create more jobs?
Well, that is Evans Mensah speaking to the Minister, Dan Botwe, concerning these matters. That full interview is later tonight here on this channel on PM Express, which starts at 9 p.m. and you want to make a date. But Mr. Jakwasu is still with us. Mr. Jakwasu, I'll have you go through for us the itinerary from now, as far as the referendum is concerned. And when we're done with that, we get to talk about the Ayawaso West Wuogon seat. So what is the itinerary? Where do we go from here as far as the referendum is concerned?
Yeah, the Commission has completed all the necessary processes. We have finished training our officials. We have deployed all the logistics to the referendum enclaves down to the level of the various district returning officers. We're finishing the special voting today, and then we intensify with our stakeholder and then publicity engagements and activities to the 27th, where we go to the polling stations to go and then vote in the referendum. Everything is on course.
Well, just a few days and we'll be there. In the meantime, this your commission, I wanted to say, has been holding an emergency meeting with political parties to deliberate on what's going to happen or what should happen on the by-elections for Ayawaso West Wuogon. And I've got a statement, the statement that you released here, and I'll read it for my viewers because they have not seen this, for them to know, and then we'll engage you briefly on that. It says that press release on IPAC meeting held on Monday, December 24th, 2018. Following the death of the Member of Parliament for Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency, Honorable Emmanuel Chumateng Ejakun, the seat of the constituency in Parliament has become vacant. In that regard, the Commission called an emergency meeting of the Inter-Party Advisory Committee, that's IPAC, on Monday, 24th December 2018, in the IPAC conference room of the Electoral Commission. All registered political parties present at the meeting agreed to the proposal by the Electoral Commission that the by-election for Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency will take place on Thursday, January 2019. That's January 31st, 2019. And the letter, of course, is dated today. It is signed by these people, and I'm going to mention them to you. Bede Ziding signed for the NDC, William Dawakbo signed for the PPP, John Boydu for the NPP, Kofi Akpalu for LPG, Dinah Egla for Eagle, the Eagle Party, Bliss Sosuhonu for APC, Emmanuel Mbuama for UFP, Kwashi Odoi Kwe for ULP, and David Amasumu for URP. Then there is Ekwadonko for the UFP. There is Jean Mensah, who is the Electoral Commission's chairperson. There's Philip Ofori-Yabua for UPP, and Osofo Dankoma Kwam for CPP. And so these are the people who have signed on. They were at this IPAC meeting. Mr. Jakwasu, thanks for staying on with us. What really is going to happen on 31st of January?
Thank you very much. You know, following the death of the honorable member for the Ayawaso Wuogon constituency, as you read, the seat in Parliament has become vacant now, and the Electoral Commission is mandated under the laws, the Constitution, to hold a by-election. So at the emergency IPAC meeting today, we made it known to the political parties that we intend having the elections on the 31st of January. All of them agreed. There was a consensus on the date for the conduct of the by-election. So on 31st January, all registered voters and persons who have transferred their votes into the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency would be expected to go to their various polling stations from 7 a.m. up to 5 p.m. to cast their ballot to determine who becomes the next member of Parliament for Ayawaso Wuogon constituency.
Do we have everything preparation-wise in place?
Yeah, it's a process. The preparatory activities are ongoing, and we are all very confident that come the day, we'll be very much ready to conduct this election.
Mr. Jakwasu, thanks a lot for your time this afternoon. And when we do hit Christmas Eve, we wish you all the very best with your family. Eric Jakwasu speaks for the Electoral Commission.